Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview on NewsX. We are in conversation today with the two lead stars of The Sultan of Delhi. This is, of course, the very intriguing and interesting series that will be streaming very shortly on Disney Plus Hotstar. Tahir Raj Bhasin and Anjum Sharma, thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks, Uday. Thank you for having us.
Let me begin with you first, Tahir Raj Bhasin. Let me ask you about what attracted you to the project. This is, of course, Milind Luthria's ode to Delhi. Now we've seen him, show us his take on Mumbai and painted in such a glamorous avatar. Now we're all set to see, of course, the Delhi tale of his. But what attracted you to the project, Tahir?
Uday, I'm from Delhi. It's where I finished school. It's where I went to college. I left Delhi 10 years ago to come to Bombay to be an actor, and I've had an incredibly fortunate journey. But when you hear the title of a show called The Sultan of Delhi, it's a no-brainer. And the fact that it's going to be helmed by Milind Luthria is just amazing. What attracted me to the part was the incredible graph of the character. Very rarely do you get a hero who has an amazing friendship in Bengali. He's got romances with different actresses, as you can tell from the trailer. And there's just an incredible scale in the entire project. In fact, one of the best feedbacks that I've got from the trailer is I've got friends and family calling me saying, "Was this a film or was it a series?" And I think that's a sign of the times that things are being made on a cinematic scale, even for OTT.
No, absolutely. It looks very slick, as I said, and already we are intrigued and excited. Anjum, how special is this part going to be in this role for you in your career graph? And how was your experience filming this?
Uday, honestly, it's a very incredible part, and I'm just not saying it just for the heck of saying it, because I really believe it. It's a very good and a very different part, an opportunity which came my way. Because the kind of role which I have been offered in this show is something which normally actors get in slightly later in the career, because the kind of maturity, the kind of range this character needed. I had a great, the moment I heard it from Milind sir, and when he gave me the narration, I was there were two things which were going in my mind, that it's very challenging and it is very different from what I have done earlier. So it's a great opportunity to explore, and then you're portraying a character which has a scale of a Milind Luthria palette, which itself is a very unique experience. It's a cinematic experience for any actor to associate with his legacy. So, and the way the character spans out in terms of his emotions, his energies, his various range in terms of the portrayal. So all in all, it was quite a unique character to play, and I was very happy about that fact.
Yes. Okay. Let me ask you though, Tahir. It's obviously based on a book. So, did you want to read the book, or have you gone completely by the filmmaker and the writer's interpretation?
No, I definitely wanted to read the book for context, and I think one of the most fascinating things about Arnab Ray's writing is that it's so incredibly detailed. And often when you're adapting something for cinema and you go just by the script, what I find sometimes is that because it is a visual medium, a lot of it will be in dialogue or will just be a line of action. But when you pick up the novel, there are detailed character notes that act as a treasure trove of information. But at the same time, when you're on set, it's important to treat that as a background note. And then once you're on set, you're in the hands of the screenwriter, which was Supan Verma, and also the co-director, and Milind Luthria.
Yeah, well, that's a very special team in itself, isn't it? Anjum, coming back now on what was perhaps the best memory for you on shoot, which was one scene or one day which stood out for you? I know it's tough to pin down and think of one, but wo kya tha?
Well, it's really tough, because the kind of journey I have had on this show with Tahir, especially because we both I think shot for the maximum number of days with each other. So we had Moni Nayantara, who's playing a very fantastic role and a very nice layer she brought in the show. But we often now talk about it and joke about it that we have seen through the shoot of the show, we have seen all seasons. Like we have shot an action sequence in an extreme heat and a hot
Yeah.
condition, and it was an action. So yeah, I mean, it was initially very early in our in our schedule. So the first 3 days, very interestingly, what Milan sir also planned was, because we were also coming and with our individual characters. So the first scene in the show, which we shot, was actually when Bengali and Arjun meet each other for
Yes.
the first time. And the next scene which we shot was when their friendship has already been, established, and they have already lived a certain life and their friendship is grown. So these two things were planned so that you have a sense of not knowing each other, and then
Yeah.
suddenly you are, getting into a full-on grown friendship. So yeah, these two things is something which I really, can is at the top of my head. Apart from that action sequence, which we are seeing in the trailer, the train sequence, we were actually on the top of a train, and we were shooting a sequence. And I remember once we finished filming it, and we kind of spoke to each other, and we said like, okay, so this was our Kache Dhage moment.
Okay.
The legacy which we got associated with of Milan Luthria.
Of course, of course. Tahir, coming to you now on the scale of, the roles in your career now, the career graph of yours, of course, we hope that it will continue in the manner that it has. But, it's been very diverse so far, from your, role in Mardani 2 to, of course, Chichore, 83, Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, and of course, now this, and there are others as well, which I've obviously left out. But they're very, very different roles. Now, is that a conscious decision, or is that just something that's that's coming your way? And obviously, you're grateful to the different makers who are obviously thinking of you in different characters and not just one typecast avatar.
Uday, it's 100% a conscious choice, because the easiest thing for an actor to do in our industry is, once you get good at one part, to just repeat the same thing 5 times. And to consciously steer away from that is where your choices as an actor come into play. And I've been very fortunate to work with stalwarts, like starting from Pradeep Sarkar in Mardani to Nitesh Tiwari in Chichore, who had also done Dangal, and now to Milan Luthria. So I've been very fortunate to be in the correct hands. And yes, a lot of this comes from the space of, I don't want to bore myself, because if I am interested and excited and the next project is very different, then the audience will be excited to watch it and they'll be entertained. And I think what great stars do is that they lend their stardom to the part, and they make the character interesting. And that is what I strive to achieve.
Okay, well, let's certainly hope that continues. For the time being, thank you all so much for joining us. And let's hope you are the Sultan of the OTT world as well once this releases. Thank you both so much for being with us.
Inshallah. Thank you.